Good morning, mindful travelers. It is day 17 of our confidence challenge, and I'm out for my bike ride this morning. As if you've tuned in before, you've seen me. I go on bike rides or runs every other day pretty much. I'm wearing my nifty Ventura marathon shirt. I've run that marathon a couple times. In the half marathon, I used to run it when I was training for the Army 10 miler back in, wow, that was a ways back, quite a few years. But yeah, I used to be a lot more fit than I was now. But still getting out there. This is really my time to think. I didn't know what I wanted to talk about today. Seems to be kind of the trend. Don't really know what I'm saying. I'm just coming on here to talk to you. It really comes to me, and I'm feeling, that is kind of the intent behind the confidence challenge, right? Just get out here and talk. I have all these great thoughts when I'm out running or out riding, and I've mentioned it a couple times. I come home and I tell Amanda, hey, I had a great thought, and her response is either uh-oh or that's dangerous. So we'll see what it is today. But I was just thinking about, bucket list today. So I posted on our group. If you haven't joined yet, you should. I highly recommend it. We're up to 57 members. That's awesome for the first, I think, 2.5 weeks that we've been live. So spread the word. I'd love to get more of you in there. It's at facebook.com/groups/novel excursion. But yeah, we're getting things going. We're trying to build a community of caring and selfless humans. This is all on that road toward the World Family Project, which is going to be our nonprofit that we intend on founding. And right now, we're building Novel Excursion Travel as the foundation, ground level foundation where, the rubber meets the road to build that ultimate goal. It's going to be building, the financial foundation we need, as well as the connections, the experience, and, just our reach across the world. And we hope, that will be the vehicle toward this great future where we can inspire, social change. But I was thinking about bucket list because I posted last night on our group, what is your number one destination or something like that. I'm not sure what I said, but as soon as I posted, I was like, you know what? I don't know. I followed it up with a comment and was like, I don't know what my number one is. I have so many. And that actually reminded me of a conversation I had with Amanda. So for those of you who don't know, so I'm pretty open. One of my, what would it be? Someone I look up to is in kind of the content creation side of things is John Green, and John Green has been very open with some of his issues, right? Some of his he has anxiety and OCD, I believe, but yeah, he's very open with that, and I think it's very refreshing to have this open dialogue about your problems, because we're all human, and it's not really a problem, it's just what makes you you. And I struggle from the same thing. So I've been diagnosed with OCD and anxiety. And that's one of my big issues with coming on videos. I always feel like I have to get it done perfectly. I have to have a topic on my mind. I have to know exactly what I'm doing, and I'm terrified of making mistakes. So this confidence challenge has worked wonders for me. It's been great. So I just want to be open with that. I don't want to hide. I don't want to be ashamed. I want to teach my children that whatever is going on with them, they can be proud. They can be proud of themselves, and there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with you. And I talk about that because I'm bringing up the idea of bucket list. So I used to make lists after lists after lists of everything, from my favorite baseball team to my favorite color to my favorite country singer, back when I loved country. Not so much anymore. But yeah, and oh my gosh, the bucket list for destinations is like so many everywhere. Yeah, but I've lost them all. I mean, I have a lot in my head, but that really turned into this compulsion when we were traveling in Europe. That, if we were somewhere that we could easily reach other places, I felt this compulsion that I needed to go check off as many as possible. It's like, oh, we're in the Netherlands. Well, we can go to Luxembourg too. We can go to Belgium. We can go, if we're in Belgium, we're in Liège. We might as well go to Brussels. We might as well. Oh, well, now we can go over to where Dunkirk occurred. Why not take the ferry over to Dover? It just kept going. All these just it doesn't make travel fun, especially for those around you. And that's something I experienced with Amanda, with Sarah. Adrian wasn't old enough at the time. He wasn't even born yet. But, if I continued down that trend, it would probably make our travels not too enjoyable, and I probably wouldn't have as much support at the home front to do this business and to travel the world. Hey, Matt, thanks for joining us. We're talking about bucket lists today. But yeah, so that was something that I dealt with, making these bucket lists, and especially when I started my website, started my blog back in December of last year, and I started talking to people who are location independent. I started making this list of all these things I want to do. And I remember when I first did the Location Indie Side Hustle Success Challenge, we had to tell our bag, which is our big, hairy, audacious goal, right? And the one I said was, I said two. I said I want to visit every country in the world, and I want to start a nonprofit. I realized starting a nonprofit is definitely feasible. It's something that fits both mine and Amanda's goals and vision of life. Hitting every country in the world sounds awesome, but is it really what I wanted to do? And when I sat back and thought about it and talked to Amanda about it, yeah, it'd be cool, but really it was my compulsion of needing to check off everything. I saw these people doing all these great things, and I wanted to be able to say, oh, I've been everywhere. But the thing about seeing every country in the world, and if you do some research on it and listen to podcasts or watch some content on YouTube, you'll find a lot of people who go will say it was a great experience, but they'll never do it again. Or it was a great experience, but now, there's new countries forming, and now you have to go visit that other country. So there's so much change happening in the world that, why put yourself through something like that if it's not really something you want to do? And that really got me thinking with the whole bucket list idea. And I was telling Amanda, all these places I want to go. We have a 10-year planner, and we're planning out, all these different destinations. And for me, one of the big ones is Cambodia. And when I said, let's go to Cambodia, I said, oh, Amanda wanted to spend, maybe 30 days, 60, maybe 90 days there. And I was like, well, why are we doing that when we could hit Thailand, we can hit India, we can hit Vietnam, we can hit Bali, we could hit Malaysia, they're all right there, so we could hit them all. And she's like, whoa, pump the brakes, all right? And that got me back into that, rhythm of wanting to do everything, because, I have this sense of, I'll never get to go again. That's not true. There's so many different ways that you can visit all these places. You can always go back, and that's a mindset that you need to have. So I looked up something, I don't remember where I read it, but it was something called an Unbucket List. I don't know if it's actually written out or if that's a term we came up with. I don't know. But basically, it was this concept of, figuring out a purpose to travel, and figuring out why you want to go somewhere instead of listing out a number of places you want to go, right? And I think that's more of the philosophy that we're going to now. Our goal is to travel places where we can affect change, travel places where we can make a difference, and where we can make friends. So we want to make lasting contacts wherever we go, lasting connections, right? And now that we're getting on this travel schooling idea, we have a new purpose of going and learning at every destination. So I think that's a lot more healthy of a way to go about, seeing things. You can have your bucket list. Bucket lists are great. I just want you to think about why. Think about, is it because it's something you really want to do that will bring you fulfillment and enrichment, or is it something that you feel like you need to do, or something that you want to be able to tell people, I've done this many countries? If it's the latter, maybe rethink it. Maybe think about a different way to go about travel. Because travel is a wonderful thing. It's such a transformative thing, and it can really make you a better person. And I think what we really want to inspire people to do, so something we've realized is we've started talking about, cultures and how we can affect different cultures. There are a lot of cultures that don't see travel like we do. Us here in America, that it's a very Americanized Western concept to, go travel. And it's not just America, in Europe they do gap years. part of the ingrained culture, just to travel and explore. And especially in Europe, that started back in, the Age of Enlightenment, when people would go on their grand tours of, the Middle East and Africa and everything. And that's how the British Museum actually got so many of its artifacts brought back from Greece and all the Mediterranean area, because these, British aristocrats would go on their grand tours of these exotic places. So there's a lot of cultures around the world that don't do that. So we're not trying to get you to go travel to teach other people. We're not trying to, push this globalization mindset of the American and Western ideals. No, I think the better course is to go with an open mind to learn. Those cultures who don't travel have so much to offer to the rest of us. Why not go, learn from them, and bring it back? So I think a reverse side of things would be a lot better than going and imposing our values and our ideals. So go with an open mind, find a different way to travel. Slow down, think through what you're doing, think through why you're doing it. And I think we'll be better for it. So yeah, I just rambled for a while now. I think I should get back on the road. Thanks for joining me today. And if you haven't, like I said, join our group. Go ahead and put in, your top places to go, because I'm curious where people want to go. Because that's where all the places that I've learned about, most of them have been from people saying, I've been here, or I want to go here. There's so many places in the world that we don't know. So come join in the conversation. We'd love to hear from you. And if you're watching this on YouTube, click subscribe below and share away. All right, thanks for joining me today, and don't forget to travel mindfully.